What is up, folks? It's your man Jay, and I got a cup of coffee, late night cup of coffee. And we're going to talk about Visible service. Visible is a cell phone provider that runs on Verizon's network, and they're a prepaid company. They don't have any stores or anything. It's all done through the application and website, pretty much. And I think that that part is something that we've seen before. Like companies that, you don't have actually stores and stuff like that. So that's nothing exciting. But what is pretty good is the service. So I recently, in the last 30 days or so, I took Visible and T-Mobile to Destin, Florida. And, to my surprise, along the way, now I've made this trip to Destin, Florida several times. This is where I vacation every July when possible, which is almost every year. So along the way is where I wanted to test out the Visible service. And Visible service is good. Now, it runs on Verizon's network, so I'm pretty sure this is prioritized not to be at the top of Verizon's list for the strongest signal or the best service. However, this thing pretty much kept signal, LTE signal, when some of the other phones in the car were on in and out of LTE. So I think in that respect, Visible has gained my respect. I know that T-Mobile service drops out sometimes, but I wasn't expecting Visible, even though it runs on, like I said, it runs on Verizon's network, it's not prioritized above Verizon's other services more than likely. They're just using Verizon's network. And I'm pretty sure Verizon's getting a little piece of Visible too somewhere in there. But I was kind of surprised. I had several situations where, and I haven't just taken it to Florida. I took it to Alabama. I've taken it all across Texas, Louisiana. I took it over there, and just Louisiana actually a few times. Shout out to East Computer Solutions and Will H Tech Reviews over there in Louisiana, Saints Nation. But we traveled like everywhere, just trying to get a feel. And what we do when I take a vacation, I don't just go to a location. I stop sometimes, hang in a state. I've done this multiple times. I'll go to Tennessee. I'll go to Atlanta. Shout out to Tennessee. I got to hit over Atlanta. Kimmy over in North Carolina. I got to get over your way so we can hang out. But the Visible service overall, folks, this isn't a tough one. They released their data cap for some customers. And obviously, if I'm testing the service, they're gonna release it for me. But running some speed tests, I realized that out and about, wow, what I'm saying, the speeds are good, to say the least. They're really, really good, and I think that this is something that I think they're really just testing the waters to kind of see who's going to abuse the unlimited data. Now, getting about 3 to 10, some people are getting 40, 20, depends on where you are. Where I live at, the service is tough. It's a tight network around here because there's a lot of the providers where I am are really, really good. And also there's a lot of prepaid carriers around here roaming off of all the same towers, So, Visible has managed to grab hold of some of that network and do their doggone thing. The service is solid. Now, truthfully, they don't have the fastest data speeds, but you will be able to stream. That's the truth. If you want to download a large file, you got to make sure you're in an area where you got a full signal and you're already getting really good download speeds, or it's going to take a while to download some of that stuff. So in the car, when driving, testing out the download speeds and things like that, like downloading applications, seeing how long it'll take compared to T-Mobile. T-Mobile's data is extremely faster than Visible by a long shot. However, Visible has a stable network in areas where T-Mobile just would lose service altogether. And this isn't a surprise. There are still a lot of areas where not just T-Mobile, tons of carriers need to improve their network. But at the time, I'm only testing T-Mobile and Visible side by side, and also Google Fi. Even Google Fi, I had some problems with that along the way where I just lost service completely, and I still had T-Mobile service on the T-Mobile phone. But Visible stayed strong. I don't recall it ever losing LTE service, and it's because Verizon has a very strong network. Like their footprint reaches far and wide. And so Visible, again, while they did send me the service to test out, it's not a joke. I mean, they don't have the fastest download speeds, but they have a stable network. And you hear me talking a lot about download speeds and stuff like that, but phone calls is where it's at. An emergency phone call definitely was needed. I needed to make a phone call, and the only phone that had service was Visible. And it was just one of those situations where glad I had that in hand, because that used to be Sprint. When I had my Sprint account, that would be my go-to for when I'm traveling. They would drop to 3G a lot, but I will always have at least 3G, and that was important to me. So with that being said, man, I mean, there's not much more I can tell you. Visible service is fantastic. You just need to go to the website, buy your phone. They'll give you a free phone if you switch over and turn in like an old phone or something like that. They'll give you a free phone, a little Android phone. I think it's a ZTE phone. I think it is. But just hit up visible.com and go, download the Visible app. The service is, I think, $40 a month for unlimited everything. I mean, so it's a good deal, man. If you want stability and a reliable network for your phone calls, texts, and things like that. I did have a problem with text at the beginning when I first started using the service, and picture mail cleared up within an hour or so, and I guess that was the provisioning or whatever. But after that, it's been go. No issues whatsoever. So Visible, honestly, I tested the service, and I'm still testing. I'm still using it. It's solid. So about 2 months in, I think it's been about 2 months. Not a problem. They get the check mark from me. It's your man Jay. If you're wondering about Visible service, some of you guys have been asking them to use it on certain phones. I have not tested the Visible service on any other phones, but just go to the website and you'll be able to see that you can bring your own phones. If you have unlocked phones and things like that, you want to make sure that it's compatible with the Verizon network. And that's almost all the Moto line, just about. And ZTE has some phones out there, and mostly, obviously, the iPhones are compatible too. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Quick conversation about Visible Wireless. Pretty solid network, as we would expect. Take care.